Hello Tigers, and welcome to the TMNtv Newscast for Wednesday, August 29th, 2018. Stay tuned for the latest news at Fort Hays State University and around the nation. I am your news anchor, Jenna Hawley, and Haley White will be along later with sports. But first, here's what's making news in Tigerland. The annual March to Maine had several hundred Fort Hays, NCK Tech, and Hays Academy of Hair Design students working their way from campus to downtown Hays on Tuesday. The march begins at the Quad on the FHSU campus and features students making their way to Main Street. The event is organized to get students familiar with the downtown area and involved with the community and showing them what Hays has to offer. The Kansas National Education Association recently endorsed Laura Kelly for governor. The KNEA said Kelly, a Democrat, would be a friend to education in the state, while Republican candidate Chris Kobach would be an opponent. The Topeka Capital Journal reported Kelly has supported the Supreme Court's efforts to provide additional dollars to help fund education in the state. Kobach opposed the plan to support additional education funding. The man who shot two deputies at the Jewell County Sheriff's Office died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound after fleeing the scene Tuesday morning. Jason Lee Whitson, 40, of Mankato, died at the hospital, according to a release by the Kansas Bureau of Investigation. Whitson apparently went to the sheriff's department and asked the dispatcher if he could speak to a deputy. He eventually fired shots as a deputy approached. Two deputies were injured in the shooting before Whitson fled the scene. Law enforcement later spotted his vehicle near Glasgow and gave chase. A woman and 5 children eventually were released from the vehicle before Whitson took off again. Officials eventually stopped Whitson, who turned the gun on himself. One of the 2 deputies injured in the shooting was released from a hospital, while the other had to undergo surgery at a Salina hospital. A woman died as a result of a gunshot Tuesday morning in the small town of Seward in south-central Kansas. The Kansas Bureau of Investigation said Adrienne Martin, 35, was pronounced dead at the scene. A male was taken to a hospital with a non-life-threatening gunshot wound. The KBI said the 2 were acquaintances. An investigation continues into the shooting. According to a Tribune News Service report, the U.S. and South Korea might resume military exercises, despite President Donald Trump saying the 2 countries would suspend exercises in June. Trump's message came about after a meeting with North Korea in hopes of easing tension between all parties. But on Tuesday, Defense Secretary James Mattis said the U.S. had no plans to suspend any more exercises with South Korea. The U.S. annually has conducted military training exercises with South Korea in fall and spring. No exact date has been set between the U.S. and South Korea on when the exercises would resume. Google might have the answers for a lot of questions, but President Trump doesn't believe the software giant has been giving the right answers in his case. Trump on Tuesday said Google is programmed to show only the viewing and reporting of the fake news media. He claims the tech giant is, quote, rigged, unquote. The president claims Google and other technology firms are suppressing voices of conservatives and hiding information and news that is good, according to a Tribune News Service report. A proposed merger between Sprint and T-Mobile has some labor officials saying the move would cost more than 28,000 jobs. T-Mobile is the nation's number 3 wireless carrier, while Sprint is the number 4 carrier. A labor union submitted a 128-page report to the FCC citing damages to competition the merger would allegedly create. The 2 companies have promised more jobs would result from the merger, and each carrier plans to build its own 5G service. The loss of jobs has been a key issue since the 2 companies announced plans. The companies hope to win final approval by the FCC next year. The country lost a political power Saturday as U.S. Senator John McCain died after battling cancer. McCain was well known in political circles for his years of service to Congress, as well as his former military service during Vietnam. The Republican from Arizona ran for president as well before being defeated by former President Barack Obama. McCain had a hand in several key congressional bills that helped shape many laws in the country. The death of McCain and President Trump's reaction caused protests from veteran groups earlier this week after the president belatedly issued traditional statements honoring the Vietnam vet. Trump said, "Despite our differences on policy and politics, I respect Senator John McCain's services to our country and, in his honor, have signed a proclamation to fly the flag of the United States at half-staff until the day of his interment." Many condemned Trump's failure to pay tribute to McCain immediately after his death. Until the statement, Trump had only tweeted his condolences to the family, according to the Tribune News Service. On Monday, the president ignored three separate questions from reporters about lowering the flag nationally. A disgruntled man who lost in an e-gaming tournament opened fire Sunday afternoon in Jacksonville, Florida, killing 2 and injuring 10 others. David Katz had been playing in a Madden NFL 19 tournament when he lost a game, then returned with a gun and shot other competitors. Elijah Clayton and Taylor Robinson were killed in the shooting before Katz turned the gun on himself, committing suicide. Investigators earlier this week were still trying to determine if Katz had planned the shooting or was just upset over losing at the tournament. The violence shook the gaming community, and many had captured the shooting on video as well. Those are the stories making headlines in the world of news this week. After we return from this short break, Haley will be here with your sports update.
I think there's a perception out there that web and mobile application development is this field where you sit behind a computer all day and code. And that's not it at all, right? And there's even a perception out there that geek is bad. But I think students should embrace their inner geek. We don't code all day. We look at issues, we look at problems, and try to figure out the pieces of the puzzle and how to put them together to build things.
I was able to learn JavaScript, HTML, CSS, PHP, just kind of the whole 9 yards with that. So I really enjoyed the full program that they offered here.
Anything that you're interested in, the field of web and mobile application development, there's a value to. There's nothing like what we have in the informatics department. If you choose to take everything in the buffet that we offer, you'll be very well prepared for any type of job opportunity that's out there.
FHSU football produced its best season in program history last fall, going undefeated in the regular season while clinching its first MIAA title. This season, the Tigers hope to defend their MIAA crown, starting the 2018 season with a big home opener against Central Missouri. The Tigers and Mules will meet for the 15th time at 7 p.m., Thursday at Lewis Field Stadium. During last year's meeting, FHSU defeated UCM 36-6 on Tigers' home turf. FHSU defensive back Doyen Jabowu, quarterback Jacob Mazura, and head coach Chris Brown speak on what it will take to secure the season opener against UCM during this week's press conference.
As ready as you can be. I think everyone's excited. There's a lot of anticipation, and obviously when you're practicing against each other, tensions boil up, and you can't really, you don't want to hurt your own team, and you don't want to be aggressive with your own team too much. But when you get to play another team, all that anticipation and excitement, you actually get to let it all out on the field. So yeah, there's a lot of excitement and anticipation. So yeah.
I expect it to be a full house. I mean, it's a big game for us. I know it's a big game for Central Missouri too. This kind of first game's always a weird game. We don't really exactly know what they're going to do. I mean, they could have changed a whole bunch of stuff out from last year and stuff, but you know, it's always kind of weird. And you know, this kind of decides where we're going to go from the rest of the season. Are we going to make an uphill climb, or are we going to, you know, like defend the forward and our championship and stuff? You know, I don't want to lose this game and then have to like be perfect the rest of the year. You know, it's just like it's going to be a big one. So I don't know. This kind of, to me, is a really big game, and we need to come out on top.
You know, I don't think you go into much. You know, you still got to prepare for Central and know exactly what they're doing, but it's just making sure we're seeing the plays and we're making the plays, you know, in practice. So it carries over to the game on Thursday.
Thursday's game features a matchup of top 25 teams, with the Tigers landing in the top 10 of several preseason polls. The Fort Hays volleyball team started the season 4-0 after dominating opponents at the Aggies Challenge during the weekend. The Tigers lost only one set in the 4 matches. I sat down with head coach Jessica Wood-Atkins and libero Abby Hayes earlier this week for a segment of This Week in Tiger Athletics. The coach said she was pleased with the way her team played to open the season.
I was very pleased with our team's performance. We have a very young team, and so from that standpoint, as far as I was concerned, pretty untested, I think. And so for me, it was good to see them come ready to compete every single match.
Hayes said the team grew a lot during the weekend tourney.
We ended up doing really well. I think the team came together, not only in play, but off the court. My thoughts were it was nice to just get out there and play competition against someone other than ourselves. We got to get the jitters out, the first game, you know, freaking out a little bit, and we showed that we can compete and we can play.
The Tigers will play 4 matches at the Augustana Invitational this weekend in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. The Tiger cross country teams will begin the season Saturday at the FHSU San Plum Alumni Open in Victoria. The FHSU men are ranked 5th in the MIAA preseason poll, while the women are ranked 4th. The women's race begins at 9 a.m. with the men's race to follow. The FHSU women's soccer team kicks off the season Thursday against Upper Iowa on the road, then follows that up with a match at noon Saturday against Southwest Minnesota State. The women are ranked 4th in the MIAA preseason poll. The Tigers went 10-6-4 last year, including a 7-3-1 mark in conference play. The men's teams begin the season at 7 p.m. Friday against McKendree at the FHSU soccer complex before playing number 3 ranked Rockhurst on the road Sunday. The FHSU men were picked as the favorite to win the MIAA conference this season in the preseason poll. The Tigers went 7-1 in the MIAA play a year ago with the conference crown. The team was 1 match short of claiming its 4th consecutive NCAA Division II Central Region title, falling 2-1 to Northeastern State. Don't look now, but Sporting KC has returned to its early season glory. Sporting has won 4 in a row, including a 2-0 victory over Minnesota United on Saturday at Children's Mercy Park. Sporting KC provided us with these highlights from Saturday's win.
The referee is Robert Sabiga. There's the whistle, and away we go. In Kansas City, Kansas, Minnesota United in possession first, going from left to right in the all gray, Sporting Kansas City in their primary kits. Zusi, Russell out wide this time, around one defender, shot from long range, punched away by Shuttleworth, his second save. Zusi lets it run out, or no, it doesn't. Ball still in play. Here's Ibsen, outside of the foot, right down the middle.
He's really only being required to play about 60 minutes here this evening. He is a good player, Tison.
It's a high corner, knotted down by Boxall into the area. A last-second save by Melia, and it's cleared off the line by a couple of Sporting KC defenders.
He collided with Sestanovic.
Watch this save here from Melia, though. Just got his right foot on it.
It's a great kick save from Tim Melia. make Bobby Shuttleworth work.
Second half is underway here at Children's Mercy Park. 0-0 the score between Sporting Kansas City and Minnesota United.
Final third quality that's been lacking so far this evening.
Rubio with a good ball into Johnny Russell. Now Quase with the turn. Quase with the finish! Peter Vermees is an absolute magician.
Seconds. It's a good turn, it's a good ball. Just played nicely into Quase, but that turn with the outside of the left peg, fantastic from Quase. No way Shuttleworth should be beaten at that near post. We don't care about that though. Good finish, Quase.
In several games throughout this season, have conceded right after conceding their first goal. So in the space of a few minutes.
It falls to Toy here, and he puts it over the bar. A golden opportunity for the rookie to equalize. Minnesota United conceding a second goal. They had a great opportunity to equalize. Toy just couldn't get over the top of it. Then a clearance off the line by Sinovic and Espinoza. This one comes in, headed toward the back post, but wide. Back to Sinovic, cutting inside. Now Johnny Russell. Rubio to his right foot. Rubio puts it away. The most efficient goal scorer in MLS has done it again.
Place opened up. Russell has time to pick his head up, pick a pass. He rolls it into the feet of Rubio. It's actually the second touch that's the class one from Rubio. Just moves it to the side of Kalman, fires it home. It's a great finish from Rubio. It's actually T-Son, he takes it round.
That was attempted by Namath. Ibarra running it Sinovic down the right-hand side from Minnesota. Beasler knocked it away, but Ibarra gets it back. Cross in. It falls to Ibsen. And he puts it off the bar. Now Ibarra into the stands. Get one past Tim Melia and into the back of the net.
Very unfortunate from Ibsen, a great curling effort. Beats Tim Melia, all ends up, he only died.
Here, the Sporting KC trying to get their fourth shutout in a month. They have accomplished that before, but they've never had an entire month where they've shut out an opponent, or all of their opponents, for that month, including 4 games.
Sporting will hit the road this Saturday to take on the Seattle Sounders. That's all we have for this episode. We will return next week for another episode of TMNtv News. In the meantime, to stay up to date on the latest news and information throughout the week, visit TigerMediaNet.com. Until then, remember, roar Tigers.
The Tiger Media Network is Fort Hays State University's independent student media organization. It's a student employment opportunity where you can work for either the news side or the sports side. So you can be on live sports production, which produces all of the live sports broadcasts that we do, or you could be on the news side and do news stories covering things on campus, so presidential announcements, student government association. We bring that news to the student community and the Hays community as well.
You don't realize how much Fort Hays State has to offer until you're here.
I mean, it is definitely, this is the land of opportunity here.
I just got back from the MIAA tournament in Kansas City a couple weeks ago where we worked with other production crews, including Pitt State and Central Missouri. And it's a great time. I've gone there the last couple of years.
For me anyway, I get to do sports, which is what I love. And if live productions is where that's at, this is the perfect place to do it. We have almost everything that you could possibly imagine.
Tiger Media Network allows you the opportunity to take the skills you've learned and put them forward in a real world, real application setting that allows you to flourish and grow as a professional, and that will only help you and benefit you when you graduate and go into the real world workforce.